Yo, 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 what is up, you guys? It is your boy, HamzaConnection, coming at you live. Welcome to Journey Podcast. I want to make this one short and sweet. And damn, they're getting shorter and shorter and shorter, these podcast episodes. But anyway, when you're setting goals, you want to be concrete. You want it to be so concrete that you will know when you failed. And why do we strive not to make them concrete? Why, by default, don't we make concrete goals? Well, I think it's because we want to protect ourselves. Because if you don't know when you failed, you can't feel bad about your failure. And why might you ask that, hey, why do I want to know when I failed? Because then it's uncomfortable. Well, it is your ego that's trying to protect you, that's getting in your way. So you are making this false assumption. But deep down, you know inside of you that you know you have to make it critical. You know you have to make it specific when you're doing a goal. Because if you're not making it specific, if you don't know what you want, then how can you know whether you've attained it, and how can you know whether you failed or not? It's like you need some sort of direction. It's like you don't want to, let's say you're going towards something, you want a certain grade. Let's say you expected that you want to have the grade A or B or something. You want to get an A in math, right? No, because this is the thing. You want to do, like sometimes we try to protect ourselves, because if you deep down don't think that you can get an A in math, and you do, then you say to yourself, I want to get a good grade in math. That's it. I want to get a good grade. Because that's not specific, because is A or B a good grade? Like A is a better grade than B, but how about C? Is that okay? How about D? How about F? Then you failed. Okay, so I'm not going to get an F. But what is a good grade? And then when you actually go up to math and you get a decent grade, not a good grade, then you can sort of say to yourself, it was all right. There were some circumstances. I was busy. I was doing this. There were some things and all that stuff, and it was a hard question I got asked and stuff like that. And then you say, it was good. No. Because the thing here is, you can sort of rationalize for yourself. You're setting it up so you can rationalize for yourself. But at the end of the day, if you get enough awareness and you look back in your life, and you can easily get to 40 and then do that and then realize oh shit. And this is not the thing. I think you could delude yourself for so long, because I know right now I'm 25 and I already feel like there were so many things that I deluded myself on. So I easily think you can go to 40 and keep deluding yourself, because it's like a hamster wheel. You're just playing yourself. And if you don't realize, and if you don't really want to look inward, because looking inward hurts. This is why you get this side effect of when you're setting goals, you don't want to make them specific. On the other side of the argument, should you make everything specific? I don't know about that. I can't answer that. I'm just making the statement here in a very, very narrow branch that I am focusing on this little part, that because of your insecurities, because of your avoidance to failure, which is totally natural because we're human beings, I tend to do that myself, try to avoid failure. But because of that avoidance to failure, we tend to set unspecific goals, because later then we can rationalize why we didn't achieve those goals or why this was okay. And I saw it on myself. I set a financial goal. I wanted to reach a certain amount in savings. And I realized from month to month, it's very hard for me to say, it's okay I spent this much amount of money. I know when I'm a failure, because I know, hey, I spent this amount of money and I need to make up for it. And how I make up for it, because this and this month, I can do this and this. Because if I save up this amount, I will get to my final amount by the end of the year. So this is why it's very strict. I can monitor my movement every single time. I can know when I went over and when I went under, when things are going good, when things are going bad. But if I just save the saving goals and be like, I want to save a lot of money, then each month by month basis, it would be hard to assess because I'll be able to say, for instance, this month, I'll be able to be like, oh, it's all right. I spend a lot. It's vacation month and all of that stuff. I'll make it back later. I'll make it back later. And then you keep on pushing it later. And then at the end of the year, you look back and you're like, you don't have that much in savings. And you imagine you would have a good saving and you have a really sucky saving. And why? Because you didn't provide yourself the tool to monitor yourself because your goal was unspecific. So you kept on pushing it to later because you kept believing that you could do it later, but yet you didn't realize that the consequences that you could do afterwards, the consequences of setting aside this month and the other month and the other month, the next month, the consequences that meant for the following month. I know for now, if I spend a certain amount, I know it will have a lot of consequences in the other month. And that's why I don't want to do this because I am well aware of it. But if my goal was not specific, I would not be as clear as in the consequences because then I would be saying to myself that I could easily make up the amount for the next month. Well, now I realize that yes, I can make up the amount for the next month, but it will be a very, very hard and tough process. And do I want to go through that hard, tough process? See, this is the thing. Because you made your goal specific, you can evaluate your action better. And by being able to evaluate your action better, you can truly know the consequence of each action that you take towards that goal. And you will see that if you do this action, it will set you this far ahead. And in order to be back on track, you will have to do this. So it can be sort of motivating. It can actually be, I think that's the reason why it makes you more likely to achieve the goal because you make it specific because it simply makes it easier to monitor your actions. And that was it. That was it for this rant, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, comment down below and throw a like button if you liked and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned for more. Take care, you guys. Peace.